Hi everybody, it's me again, Charles Norman from Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of AthleticSOS. It is a software that we allow you to use at absolutely no cost, that if you enter your academic information, the sport you play, the level you think you participate at the collegiate level, and we show you all of your options and opportunities, and we want to teach you how to outreach to those colleges, let them know who you are, where you're going to be, so they can see if you fit them, and more importantly, do they fit what you want to do in the future? So we're trying to switch this thing around as far as trying to get athletic scholarships. Now, in this video, and I'm going to try to be really careful, this is my opinion. This is Charles. This is not Sports Solutions official standing or anything like that. An attorney friend told me to start saying that. And then also YouTube's giving me a little bit of hand slaps about naming people or things or items or organizations or whatever. So I'm going to be kind of general on this one and moving forward. So on this one, I want to talk about how chaotic the college sports has just become. I just this past Saturday was looking at all of the college games, right? My dad was over and we were watching all the college games, and basically I was going to call this college sports has jumped the shark, but I'm just going to stay with chaotic right now, because one of the things I like about chaotic, it opens up opportunities. And so one of the things I was watching was, as the big games were coming on, and even the regional games, you saw all these kids that had transferred into these new schools, and just like overnight, schools that were struggling, trying to get back together, schools that had had some sanctions put on them, all of a sudden they're back up on top because kids had transferred. Places where coaches had moved from one school to the next school, some of their players followed them. Some of the other players just left. And this is two things going on here. One is the NIL, and the other is that transfer portal for football, at least for football right now. I don't know what's going to happen to basketball moving forward, but for football, this thing has jumped the shark. And with the NIL thing, what I saw this weekend was I'm watching games, and I'm watching players and coaches from those teams that are playing at that moment are in commercials that are, in between the timeouts when we go to commercial breaks. The actual players that are in the game are actually have commercials coming on. This is unheard of. And it's basically the way things are going to move forward. So that's part one. So we're going to come back to that a little bit. I'm going to try to tie all this together. I know I'm going to talk about a lot of different things, but I want to tie all this together. Then the second thing is, you guys remember a while back I talked about them forgiving the student loan forgiveness, and how I didn't think they were going to do it at all, but they did come up with the $10,000. And, there's a lot of caveats to that, but they did give some relief for that. And then we talked about the fact that that wasn't going to be enough for the people that just went and got their own degrees and went and got a job. I've heard lately, after that's all happened, that a lot of people are unhappy. And I saw some shows where some people had over 100, some had even over $200,000 in student loan debt. So the $10,000 wasn't going to really affect them. But what I thought was interesting was that they were saying that, hey, this is going to leave me handicapped for the future. It's going to handicap my kids because they're going to want to go to college, and I'm going to be limited on what I can do for them. And so the whole thing just seems untenable, right? The cost of going to college and the value you're getting out of it, it seems a little bit flip-flopped here. And then, and the reason I brought that up is because there was another article that I read about, I'm just going to say, an Ivy League school that is no longer going to allow for student loans for kids that want to go to that school. So if your family makes $100,000 or less, they are going to foot the bill for you. And then everyone else, I guess, who makes more than that is going to have to pay the rate to go to that school. But no more federal, student loans, stuff like that. They were going to get out of the program. And I think one of the reasons they're going to do that is the fact that the government is going to kind of squash down, because they couldn't get the full amount forgiven. Now they're going to start trying to make some rules for colleges that take federal, especially federal student loan. They're going to start to put some screws, tighten the screws on them a little bit, or try to force them to lower their costs, or they're going to do something. And so this always comes back to the unintended consequences when you try to legislate something that in a free market type environment, like a capitalist environment like the United States is. Once you try to legislate something, it always backfires. It always does. And I know things, people need help. Some things need to happen, but you have to try to finesse it. You don't try to force people to do something because you are the person, or you're the person who gets to hold the purse strings. People don't like that, especially in the U.S. We don't like to be pushed around for some reason. So anyway, so I want to throw those two things out. And then finally, I want to talk about how you navigate this stuff. You know, one of the things we always talk about here on, with AthleticSOS, and we want our members to do, is to start thinking in 10-year increments, right? So you're a ninth grader right now, and say you're 14, 15 years old, 13, 14, 15 years old. So what happens when you're 23, 24, 25 years old? That's what we want to start thinking. So the things you're going to do today are going to get you there. So let's talk first about this NIL thing. I want to come back around to that. So with the name, image, and likeness and all the stuff that I was watching this weekend, with the coaches and the players transferring, all these new players coming in, and teams being able to go from the bottom of the barrel to the top of the barrel, depending on which coach came to their place, is that the organization, the schools, everybody else controls the narrative here, right? Instead of the players controlling the narrative, and I know some of the players are going to do quite well. I get that. But they're not controlling the narrative. They're getting those commercials and everything. They're going through the college's portal, NIL portal, or whatever they have set up for them. And that's how they're getting this thing set up. And so this is going to be a way, I know, behind the scenes, they're going to be able to funnel money to people by saying, hey, all we can do is give you this NCAA amount of money for you to come to our school, just enough for you to go to class. But we got this great NIL program, so if you come here, you can get what you need. But I think what's going to happen in the future is, if you guys follow our plan, you're going to have your own following on social media, so that you can start picking the schools you want to go to based on what's good for you after you leave school. And that's what we're trying to get to here. So we want you guys to go, okay, maybe I will go to a school. Maybe they do have an NIL program, and maybe I can get some, you know, I can advertise for the local pizza parlor, or I get a national sporting goods contract through them, because I'm a superstar here at this school, right? And they have this thing set up for me to be able to come in, navigate, sign all the right papers, and get everything moving forward. That's all great, but even better, I've got my own set of people that are following me and only me. And so now I can go and make that same contract and say, okay, I'll do this, but I also have this over here. What can we do with this? What can we do to help me build my own personal line, my own personal brand, and my own personal stuff? So that's one of the things that I wanted to kind of get you guys motivated on. It's whenever there's chaos, there's opportunity. And I think you guys are going to have a great opportunity if you start to take this serious now while you're in the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. You're going to be in really great shape. So if you can get this going for yourself, you're going to be really, really, really happy with the outcome, because you're going to have some options that other people aren't going to have. That are going to have to rely on somebody else. All right. So anyway, down at the bottom, as always, I give you guys a link. I give you guys a code. I teach you guys how to use the code. Use our software. You're going to find all the schools you qualified to attend that have your sport at the level you can play, and then have your majors. And you're going to start picking out these schools. You're going to let them know who you are, where you are, and then they're going to come and see you because they know you're interested in them. And then all of a sudden, doors are going to open up for you, and you won't feel so locked into your local colleges, or just the schools that know about you or recognize you because they're in your region, or you went and played somewhere and they're trying to discover you. You're not waiting to get discovered. You're discovering the schools you want to go to. And that's kind of how we want to work it. And then we want to start working on you post-college. What's going to happen after you leave? Hopefully you go pro. That'd be great for you if that's your dream. But also, hopefully you save some money, right? You got a scholarship. And so for parents, for you to not use your kids' athletic ability to save them some money going to college, it would save them money or save you money, even if you can afford to pay for it, makes absolutely no sense. You should absolutely be doing that right now. And for you young people, if you're going to do this, you need to start figuring out, what do I want to do? I know you're young right now, but start thinking about, who do I want to be? What do I want to do? Start doing stuff in the community. Start filming that stuff that you're doing in the community. And let's get all this stuff on tape, and we're going to start working on your social, and you're going to do stuff for the right reason. Not just because you want to go to college and get this scholarship and you're using it as a mechanism for you to get what you want, but you want to genuinely be a person that wants to help other people. And if we can get everybody young doing that, we've just changed the game. So anyway, that's what we're all about. Hopefully, some of this makes sense. I was being a little bit vague on this, but I see things as they're happening, and I want you guys to be ahead of the game and not let it happen to you, but to take what's coming and be able to go, okay, I see what's going on here. I know where I'm trying to get to. So what's my favorite word? You guys, if you've been watching me at all, you've positioned yourself for your future and what you want to do. And so you have some options and opportunities, and you're never back into a corner. All right, guys, as always, best of luck to all of you in all your endeavors. And if you want to stay in the game, we're here to help you. So look at the code down below. The instructions are there. Use the software. I can see you guys are starting to use it. So I don't know if that's trust in me or I've just been doing this enough times where you guys go, yeah, let's just give it a try. But whatever the reason is, my numbers are going up really fast. So you guys are starting to use the software. And I appreciate that on our end. And I hope it helps you guys out. And then let me know. You guys feel free. There's always inside the software, there's a way for you guys to test. If not, if you don't use the software, you can reach out to us at info@athleticsos.com and we'll answer any questions you might have. All right, guys. As always, best of luck to you.